everyone, welcome to another episode of their podcast. We still have Nat here.
Yeah, episode 2 for me.
Yeah, and okay, so today we are going to talk about marrying your first love.
Wow. Oh.
I actually thought about this topic because I think you have a very unique story. I was actually just I was just recording with another of my friend, and we were talking about like breaking up and moving on. And I said, I know one of my friend, he broke up and then he's together with his but got back together, and now BTO and like
You're gonna spoil the entire story for the audience before we even get started.
Is that spoiling the story?
A teaser.
Yeah, it's a teaser. There's no details, but I really thought it was quite interesting.
Of
So
course. That's what everyone says.
Is it? Okay, so can you give a background of your own relationship? Say to the extent that your girlfriend will find it acceptable. Do not go beyond because I don't know what to edit out.
I don't think she's too sensitive about this topic either. At the end of the day, like most of our friends know. Okay, so for some context, I am Christian. I did grow up in church, and she did as well. So we've known each other for like the longest time lah, like since we're like little toddlers. But
that's so cute.
I mean that we didn't exactly like, you know, when you're younger, then boys have cooties, girls have cooties. It's kind of gross to like hang out. Yeah, so I mean, I'll hang out with the guys and she'll hang out with the girls, and then only when you start like growing older, then you guys start being more comfortable, like playing with the other gender and things like that lah. So that being said, I guess you can say that we were childhood friends, and then around like 16, I still remember because it was after O-levels. Then a bit more free, right? And then I was like, oh, you know, she's really cute. Actually, I had a crush on her for quite a while at that point already lah. So I just asked her to be my girlfriend, and then she said yes. And I think it's mostly because she didn't really think too much about it. She's just like, oh, it's fun to have a boyfriend, so why not lah? At that point, both of us, this was the first relationship for the both of us. So we dated for about 6 or 7 months, and it didn't really work out. So we broke up on quite like not so great terms, because personally, I still really wanted to try to work things out. Like I mentioned, I did like her for quite some time lah. So to me, this was like, oh, you know, you're teething through the start of your relationship. Why give up so soon? Then to her, she's like, it's not working out. I want to do my own thing, right? And I mean, for more context, because this was after O-levels, right? So she went to JC and I went to poly, and so like, I think at that point, our life direction was quite different. Yeah, especially like our schedule and everything. So we broke up, and it wasn't the best of breakups. So in our mutual friend groups, again, we grew up in church, right? We call it the Great Divide.
Oh.
So the guys would like, you know, the guys would hang out with me and the girls would hang out with her, and then like the amount of interaction that we had decreased a lot, even though we were like one big friend group lah. Yeah.
So you saw each other every week at church multiple times.
Yeah. Okay.
And just didn't talk.
Different topic, but at that time I was going through my own like spiritual not so great moments. So actually that was a convenient excuse to not go to church also lah.
Okay.
But okay, beside the point. So we did stay on not so great terms for maybe about a year, until like I was like well and fully properly moved on from the whole breakup thing, right? And I was enjoying my life in poly, and then I was like, okay, you know what? Like, no point being sad about this. Things are over. We've moved on. Then, eventually, over time, even though it was still a bit awkward at first, from my perspective lah, that we managed to become friends again, because we did share a lot of mutual friends, and we did share a lot of history with each other. And yeah lah, once things are done and dusted, there's nothing that you can do about it at that point, right? So just move on lah. So then we became friends again, and then we were just like normal church friends for quite a while, and then sometime towards the end of my army experience, so this was after poly, after army, so it was about 4 or 5 years past the breakup. Then I think she and I started growing closer again for one reason or another. Actually, I don't really remember at that point, but we did start growing closer, and I was thinking to myself that, you know, she's changed a lot as a person, and I think I've changed a lot as a person, and there's still the same things that I liked about her back then, aside from the fact that I thought she was cute. I still liked about her then lah. And then like the plus points were more plus, and the minus points were less minus.
Okay.
And then I was like, I think we've grown a lot as individuals, and I think I kind of like her again. So it's gonna be awkward and it's gonna be hard. But I just told her my honest feelings and asked her if she wanted to try again. And I think she, in her own mind, also felt that we had grown a lot as individuals at that point, and the relationship probably wouldn't have gone the same way as it did the last time. So we gave it a second chance lah, and then since then we've been together, which at this point
sweet.
it's been more than 4 years, I think. I'm sorry.
Since army?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when y'all were broken up, do y'all see other people?
I did like other girls, so I did try to date other girls, but never to the extent where I actually got together lah. Like, I would go out one-on-one, but it wasn't anything serious, and I was just kind of like exploring my options at that point. But I don't think I really felt like I wanted to pursue a serious relationship with anyone either. And I think she kind of experienced the same things, where she kind of like went out one-on-one with other guys and might not have gotten together with them, but in the end nothing really came out of that either lah. So actually the both of us are each other's first and only proper relationship.
So sweet.
Unless
so
she's hiding
cute.
something from me lah, then I wouldn't know, right?
You are right, really the true meaning of 青梅竹马, I know your Chinese very bad. But it's just childhood.
Yeah.
Like you grow up together, and then after that you marry and everything. And I think that is quite rare. It's rare to know somebody from your toddler days and to marry them. I think some people think it's like you're too close. I don't even understand what that even means, but some people think that you are like siblings.
No, I mean, I definitely heard that before, where people are like, if I don't feel that romantic interest in them right off the bat, right, then I just become friends or siblings. Then you cannot be interested in them at all from then on.
Yeah, which I always thought it was kind of bullshit. I don't know what you think.
I also think it's a bit bullshit, but like, I mean, cause personally, I did feel like I was friends with her first, and then through being friends, you learn more about her personality, and then you grow closer, and then you learn what you like about the person, right? So I never had that big bedok moment where, oh shit, you see her from across the room, and you're madly in love with her. Suddenly, like, people talk about love at first sight, right? Yeah, I never really had that. It's more of like that gradual, I think this is pretty good about her.
This is so interesting.
Yeah. So for people who are like, I've known this person my whole life, there's no way that I could be romantically interested in them. I don't really understand that at all lah.
So I was just talking to my friend about this. I squeeze out as many podcast topics as I can. But yeah, just this Monday we were talking about platonic friends and the idea of like whether you guys and girls can remain platonic friends.
Yeah.
Both me and my friend, we both agreed that it's not platonic. If you're both single, it's very difficult.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not our topic today. But I mean, it's a very cute story. So we asked from a man's point of view, right? Like, how do you know that someone is the one? So actually, it was quite interesting because you said that it actually took you time.
Yeah.
Because are you on TikTok?
Not really, but.
But okay, so there's been a lot of discourse on TikTok saying that if a man knows that you are the one, they will know very soon. But I think a bit different from your case because you're a kid, right? What do you know as a kid? But I mean, as an adult, yeah, they say like for men, right? They just like spend
Interesting.
3 days to know if you like someone, 3 months to know if you love them, something like that, and 3 years to know if you want to be with them forever. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's a very specific timeline. For my
arbitrary timeline,
but
do you think? But I think the idea is that for men you know decisive. Very quickly whether or not you like this person.
Okay, to be fair, I was more certain of this relationship, or like I was more certain of my girlfriend than she was of me, because I mean, I think it's also because I like her first lah. So I was the first one to broach it. I was the first one to ask her. I was the first one to talk about my feelings, and at that point in time, I would have very seriously thought about it. I mean, of course, I'm trying to get back together with my ex, right? So I had to put like some serious thought and consideration into it. I didn't want to like mess it up a second time.
Yeah.
So to me, once I heard her say like, okay, let's try again, I was actually a lot more like confident moving into the relationship than her. for her, I'm sure there was a lot more uncertainty. She didn't really know where I was coming from. She still had to like sort out her feelings for herself. So at the start of our relationship, when we were still kind of dating, and I told her like, hey, you know, I kind of want to make this official. I want you to be my girlfriend. I don't want this to just be like dating to try again anymore. She kind of told me like, oh, can you give me 6 months to think about it? And I'm like, oh my god, 6 months? Actually, I think at first she told me 1 year. And I was
But
like,
this
are you
is the second
serious?
time, right?
Yeah, this is the second time. And I was like, are you serious? Like, that's a damn long time to think about this. Like, we've been dating for, I think, about 3 months at that point. Like, we didn't put a label on it, but we were going out one-on-one and it was kind of exclusive. So I was like, dude, we are basically doing everything that a boyfriend and girlfriend does. Why is it so difficult for you to just kind of go like, oh, let's make this a thing? So to that extent, I think guys, or at least for myself, I don't like to speak for all men, that it was a lot easier for me to be sure about her. Whether it was her being the one, I don't think that was so soon, but about like, oh, I want this to be a serious relationship and I want to like try and put my 100% into this. I was a lot more certain, which I think later on, like throughout the years, she did tell me that she appreciated that at the start of the relationship, because like seeing me confident gave her a bit more confidence to like at least try things out. So I think there will always be one person who's more certain in the relationship, and I think society does shape it for the guy to have to be the one to be more confident, because they're like, oh, the guy should be the one to ask the girl and the guy should be the one to initiate things, because if the guy is not sure, then why would the girl be confident, right? But I would like to think that, you know, as society changes and social perception changes, then maybe you can reverse this a little bit lah. We can both be responsible in being initiative in a relationship, and both guys and girls can be confident in pursuing the one.
That's very funny. It just remind me of, so we were having dinner just now, then you said, remember I asked you why you like your ex, and then you said because he liked me first.
Yeah. The thing is that you're not the only, I mean, I remember we had this conversation quite a long time ago, so I don't know how much of that sentiment that you still believe in today, right?
Yeah.
But you're not the only girl that I've heard this from before. Like, a lot of, I mean, I don't want to speak for all genders. This is a
You don't
touchy
need
topic.
to keep.
Yeah,
You don't need to keep. What's that word?
making that caveat.
Virtue signaling
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
Sorry.
We're not expecting President Ned to talk on behalf of everyone.
But yeah, I mean, I do hear that sentiment from girls more than guys lah, where like, maybe some guys honestly might find it a bit intimidating when the girl is more forward, but generally I do think that girls like when the guy is the one that initiates more and leads more, and it gives them that confidence, and then they like that the guy likes them more.
So I know this guy, most of his life never had a partner, but there are girls who like him. But he said, but I don't like them. And some of these girls, right, really tried very hard. Some of them even over a course of years.
Yeah.
But he just like, okay,
Don't like them, don't like lah.
yeah, and it's not even don't. It's like to a point that he find it annoying.
Yeah.
Actually, I also know another of my friend who said the same thing. She also said that her ex horrible guy. But she said
he tried
that,
so hard.
yeah, because he liked and he chased and he put in a lot of effort, that eventually she got moved lah, like Sing Tong, and then then they got together. But
Yeah.
I don't like people anymore just because they chase very hard. That is no longer my sole criteria. I was just telling Sarah, very funny. I said, with my first boyfriend, I like him so much because he's a Christian, because I always wanted a Christian man. And he's very tall. He's 1'8+. And that was my only criteria to be my
Tall
husband.
and Christian.
Tall and Christian. That's it. Can marry already. There was this analogy that my friend posted on Facebook, that it was very funny. It's like, you want a cup of cold water, and no matter how hard I try to fan the cold water, I cannot beat somebody who comes by with ice. And I thought like, that's quite interesting, because that's very accurate. No matter how hard you try, you just cannot be that person. But I think for girls, yes, it's true, they appreciate the appreciate the chase a bit
They'll
more.
appreciate the effort, and
The
then
effort.
and then maybe they'll like reciprocate by trying lah. But if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, it doesn't work lah.
To see you in a different light. So how soon did you know that you wanted to marry your girlfriend?
I think for my situation it's quite unique, right? Because again, I feel like having grown up with her, I knew at least I had a better idea of what I was getting myself into compared to like, oh, if you meet someone through school or you meet someone through like a dating app, right? Because they would be more inclined to put forward, particularly for a dating app, they'll be more inclined to put forward a certain aspect of themselves that they think is more attractive.
Oh, I
And
think
so,
for you it's also very unique because you know their family.
yeah, so you would never really know the full extent of that person until you spend sufficient time with them. But in my case, you know, having spent like tens of years at that point, seeing the person on a weekly basis, having the same friends, knowing each other's families, not that I really hung out with her family lah, but at least you know what kind of person she is around her family members and things like that. I feel like I had a better idea of what kind of person she was. And so then to me, the qualities that attracted me to her, like the way that she cares for her friends, the way that she cares for her family, the type of like selfless giving person that she is, these types of qualities I knew weren't going to change. And it was what I really liked about her at that point, and something that I really wanted in my partner. So to me, all the other like superficial things that we fought about, like or I feel like she didn't value my time that much, or I think she didn't spend enough time with me, these kind of things we could talk about. So to me, they weren't really ever deal breakers. So to put a specific point in time where I knew she was the one, I don't think that's very possible. But to me, it was quite early on. Like, I feel like definitely within like 6 months to a year of our relationship, I felt quite confident in like, oh, I'm just gonna marry this person. To me, about 6 months to 1 year into like seriously dating in the second relation, in my second time getting together with my girlfriend, I kind of told myself that like, okay lah, I'm just gonna marry her, and then anything else we're just gonna work out along the way. At that point I knew her character, I knew what I liked about her, and I knew that she was open to communication. So whatever sort of like other issues or things that we fight about, right, no matter how bad our fights were, actually we did fight quite a bit lah, but we always iron things out in the end. And I think that was the most important part. The fact that whenever we fought about something, no matter how bad the fight was, we were able to talk about it and then grow in our relationship and grow as people from there. That gave me the confidence to say like, oh, I think she's the one.
Oh, okay, so cute.
What about you though?
I think I knew very early on also, but for me, I think it's because Sam was always very confident in our relationship.
See, it's the confidence
Yeah,
again.
no, at the start, I found it a bit irritating because I was only 20.
Yeah.
And he's, he's 4 years older. So, and he is used to be a GCB. I won't say used to lah, okay, he is a GCB. but last time he was more. And he always wanted to, he know what he want. He want a family. He want a wife. He want to have the family life, right? But for me, and when I was 20, I was in my party phase.
Yeah.
I like to go zoop. I like to hang out with my friends. I don't want to be spending time meeting people's parents. I don't be spending time with people's family. I don't be doing that shit when I'm 20. So for me, it was very different because then suddenly somebody telling you, he want you to be his wife. Then you're kind of like, no!
But it's just like, I mean, at that point, it's just your phase in life and your
it's my
priorities
face
are
is
completely
different.
different. I mean, especially because at that like 18 to maybe like 24 age, your priorities are completely different. Meaning you're schooling, he's working. Or,
So only when I was like maybe 21, then when I think about maybe when I was 21, and then so that was maybe about 4-5 months later lah, cause when I say 20, I was at the tail end of my 20 year. Then I think having somebody who is so willing to, I think he was very willing to make me happy.
Yeah.
And it was very different. Because he kind of fulfilled all my like criteria of like what I would like in a person also. And like you said, maybe I got a type. So he was my type plus how hard he wanted me to be happy.
Yeah.
Then I was like, yeah, okay lah, I think really can see a future with this person. So I think I actually could tell that I wanted to marry him quite soon, because my mom, she actually asked me before, like with my ex, she asked me like, do you see yourself marrying him? And I think that was quite early on in the relationship. I think she asked me a few times. She asked me, and I just like, no. Even 1 year in, I was like, no.
Yeah.
But with Sam, I think it was like, yeah, maybe.
Like within a year.
Yeah, within a year, for sure. For me, it was a lot of feeling, a lot of intuition.
Yeah, I do think that for like once you're older and a lot of your priorities are laid out, right, your relationship can move a lot faster, which is why I think that like dating as an adult, actually things move a lot quicker. Like I do hear of some of like my older friends who within a year of meeting a girl online propose.
That's too fast for me.
But it's kind of like you know, when you're younger and you don't really have that spending power, you aren't ready to settle down. You're still like studying, you don't have a job, you don't have a full-time income.
My problem is not with that. My problem is I just feel if I haven't even spent one anniversary with you, I don't even know who you are throughout the seasons. I have not seen you enough. I do not know you as a person enough. And I just feel like marrying someone that I do not know, even for a year, is too much. I cannot envision, because you really think about it, you take marriage very seriously. I mean, everybody take marriage very seriously, and you're spending the rest of your life with somebody you never even meet for 1 year. I really find that too fast.
I mean, it may not just be the actual length of time, like 1 year, right? For example, if in that 1 year you meet the person every single day, then you met the person 365 times. But if in that 1 year you meet the person every other week, then you know a lot less about that person. So it's more of like the amount of time that you spend with the person, right?
Yeah, but 1 year only got 365 days, and that's my point.
Yeah, but going back again, I do think that when you're older and you're a bit more sure about what you want in a partner, then things can move along a bit faster, because your red and your green flags are a lot more clear. You know, you're a bit more sure that this person can make it, this person cannot make it.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true about moving on. But I'm just saying, yes, I agree. But that to me just means that instead of dating for 6 years, you date for 2 years.
Yeah lah, okay lah. So that's your timeline lah. That's your bare minimum. That's your bare minimum.
Because for me, actually, when I was 21, Sam already wanted to BTO. And I was like, no. Okay, I mean, I don't know whether I'll put this in, but it's not because I didn't like him. It's because at 21, I was not confident in myself as a person. I don't even say that he cheat, okay? I cannot tell you confidently at 21 that I will not cheat in the future if you put me in a BTO now.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, because I just say in this way. Of course, we've been together for 6 years at this point. Throughout the years, we definitely have arguments. Some more serious, but okay, we don't have a lot, but some of them have been serious arguments. And I think, right, if we had the BTO at that time, and just assuming that, we're still in the end of marriage, I just imagine that if I will always be thinking, right, I didn't break up. Is it I didn't break up because I want to work on this relationship, or because I have the BTO?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure
then I will be thinking like, maybe now that we're married, then I'll be like, actually, did I stay with you because of the BTO? No, I really feel like I would not have known. I really wouldn't have known, because let's say maybe at 22 we really had a very, very, very big fight, which we don't have lah, but maybe we had. And then at that time I want to break up already, but then I think we already put our money down for the BTO. Then years later, maybe we have another big argument. Then I'll be thinking, actually, why didn't I break up? That kind of mindset. Why did I stay with you? Is it for the BTO, or is it because I really like you?
I think that's quite crazy, because this is really quite like a uniquely Singaporean problem where we have the BTO, right? Actually, if you ever get international viewers, maybe we need to explain to them what BTO is.
We did that many times, because we always talk about this BTO problem.
Yeah. So it's quite crazy, because it's uniquely Singaporean, where you have to plan, you have to kind of like foresee 4 to 5 years ahead of your life at a very like tumultuous period. Like at 21, 22, 23, 24, your life is changing so rapidly, but you have to make such a big decision that I'm going to put away $500,000. I mean, depending lah,
Average
four to $500,000 to spend the rest of my life with this person, or at least for the next 25 years, or else I have to pay back a certain like bond or whatever.
Yeah.
Or potentially ruin my chances with somebody else who I think is more suitable lah.
Yeah.
So it creates a lot of pressure to stick with that person.
And I think it's not on topic, but I'm very glad that at that time I didn't. So now that we are together, I can very confidently say I did not stick with you for a house.
She stuck with him for him.
So I ask you, if she weren't a Christian, would you think you would still go be with her?
Yeah, probably.
So it doesn't matter to you lah.
Okay. I think that, I don't know how off topic this is, but I do think that religion is quite important. At the end of the day, like, religion is one of those things that people
Base their
fundamental,
life on,
right?
yeah.
Like for some people it's family, for some people it's children, for some people it's religion lah. So to me, I think at this stage in my life, religion is quite important, and I would love my partner to be of the same faith as me.
Really?
So that
You
is something
changed so
that
much.
so that is something that would, yeah, exactly, that's something that y'all wouldn't fight about. But I think
Yeah.
back then, earlier, when I wasn't too invested in my faith as well, and I was a bit more like, you just try and see what happens.
Now.
I wanted to work things out. Now, wow, that's
Okay,
really
now
hard to say.
let's not
Yeah.
talk about her specifically, since
Yeah.
she is a Christian. It's no
Yeah.
point imagining that.
Exactly.
But at this point, will you say that if you are single, will you only find Christian girls?
If I was single, would I find only Christian girls?
Yeah.
Probably, yes. But if, like, with the knowledge that I have now about what kind of person she is, and then she just happened to not be Christian, right? I think that would be very difficult, because I do love my girlfriend a lot. So if, like, one day she stopped being Christian, will I suddenly break up with her? I think I don't really have the answer to that lah. Which is why I kind of gave a very, like, ambiguous answer about whether can or cannot.
Very, yeah, that's not something that I ever thought about actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if my husband one day says that he don't want to be a Christian, how that would be.
Yeah, because at this point, there's so much invested into the person. You know what kind of person your partner is, that you love all these other aspects of them, except for this one thing that is so important to you, and you kind of go like, oh shit, I really wish this wasn't the case, but it is. Then I don't think I am prepared to answer that, nor do I hope that I ever have to.
No.
Yeah.
We will all stay under God, under Christ, yes. Do you remember just now I told you about the 3 days, 3 months, 3 years? So, okay,
yeah.
So a lot of people on TikTok also say that if the guy does not propose within 3 years of your relationship, where is this going? Is it going anywhere? And as a guy, do you agree with it?
Okay, so I've heard about my girlfriend's friend who, after you date for a long time, maybe like 6+ years, and the guy still hasn't proposed yet, and then the girl's just like, dude, if you're not interested in proposing to me, then let's just break up lah. Like, don't waste my time. Like, after 6 years, do you really not have the confidence to propose? Nothing is holding them back, by the way. The guy's just like, don't feel like it lah. Then to me, that's way too long. Like, at that point, you definitely have to be confident in your relationship, right? Not like, what are you dating for? Like, people who are dating to just like hang around, I think it's a bit bo liao. My personal views lah, it's a bit bo liao lah, because like, to me, dating is a bit of like the end point is marriage, and to be with that person for the rest of your life. So to know the exact right time, I think, would vary from person to person. But to me, you definitely need to, once the person has ticked off all the right boxes to your head, right, just do it lah. Like, for me right now, it's more of like my financial situation, and like waiting for a house and all those kind of things, right? But if none of these things were holding me back, I think I've already made up in my mind who the right person is.
Okay, I think for like Singapore guys, you would say, if they haven't asked you to BTO by a certain time,
Yeah,
what
they're
are
wasting
you
your time.
doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. that's a Singapore way of saying.
Exactly. So for us, it's not so much of proposing, but more of like BTOing together. Because
Yeah, when are you going to bring
you're
up the
sealing-
BTO
yeah.
question?
You're locking it in.
You're like literally locking in more money than on your diamond ring.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, again, this is a uniquely Singapore problem where, your marriage timeline is determined by your BTO timeline.
Yeah.
For me right now, is I'm getting ready to get married based on when my BTO is going to be ready, so that then I can move in together with my wife at a opportune moment, right? So, I guess for us to put it into context, is really, when's the right time to BTO, and unfortunately for the average Singaporean, it will be around the uni age, right?
When did you do it? Uni?
She was in the first year of working, and I was around my second year of uni. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's quite second or third year. I can't remember exactly, but I was still studying lah. So it's quite crazy that I actually had the confidence to decide to quote unquote marry this person when I was still like, financially unstable, don't have a job yet, still in the middle of uni.
Yeah.
But it worked out lah. So I think in Singapore things move in a very weird way. It's quite crazy because there was this guest speaker from America that came to my church, and then he was talking to the church youths, right? And then he was kind of going like, you dated Sarah for so many years, why haven't you married her yet? And I was just like, I'm waiting for my house. I think it's like, waiting for a house in America, when once you're ready and you're sure about the person, you just get married. You don't care whether you have this or that. And I just think that that's a very unique and different way of approaching marriage. To them, it's like, once you know it's the person, you just do it. You don't really care too much about your circumstances. But of course, in different parts of America, right? America's very big.
Yeah. I think my husband's living with me now.
Yeah.
So we're the same lah.
Yeah.
We didn't follow a BTO or timeline to progress the relationship because I couldn't agree with the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I just couldn't deal with it. Couldn't deal with it. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. So I was like, I'm not going to wait. Okay, so we also at first had a BTO, right? And it was going to be completed maybe 2025. I can't remember already because we cancelled it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to wait until 2026 to get married. Because if I remember correctly, it's end 2025. So I'm not going to wait until 2026 to get married.
Because you already knew that he's the right person.
Yeah, and that's another 3 years. But then I'll be like 29. And then I just don't want to be like, I don't be like living in sin. So it's the honest truth, okay?
Yeah.
So for me, that was when I knew it was the right time. But I think for me, I didn't have like that 3-year timeline lah.
Yeah.
I was too young to have.
I think everyone's different, especially when you're younger. Maybe your timeline might be a bit longer, and when you're a bit older, it'll be a bit shorter.
For me now, I'm only 26. I'm already married. It's actually quite young, I find.
Yeah. For Singapore nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like if I was 23 and then he proposed, I would also be like, no. Yeah, so
it's way too soon,
it really depends. But I mean, I get what people are saying. Like, don't waste my time. Like, if you really date for more than 10 years, and then it's okay if two people don't want to get married. But if one person want to get married, then the other one is like,
that creates a lot of tension, definitely. Yeah. I mean, again, going back to that point about like the guy having to be confident or the girl having to be confident, I think like being sure about the relationship matters a lot to the other person. If I'm very sure that you're the right person to get married to, and you're not sure about me, then it definitely feels bad lah, because then it makes it feel like, this relationship is one-sided. So I think for a lot of guys or girls who have this idea of, if you're not going to propose to me, you're wasting my time, it stems from that fact that I'm ready to be proposed to, or I'm ready to get married, but you don't have that same level of confidence, and then naturally that's going to make you question the relationship a lot lah. Yeah. So I mean, in my own relationship, my girlfriend's trying to break that. She keeps insisting that she will propose to me as well. So we'll wait and see. I'll update you again in a couple of years.
I mean, there are more and more people who do that.
Yeah. As society moves forward, more and more people do that.
To like the girl will propose to the guy as well, but it's always after the guy proposed first.
Okay lah, yeah lah.
So we will see.
We'll see. I mean, okay, to me, no matter what, like, I'm sure she's gonna do it in her own funny way because that's the type of person that she is. But regardless of who does it first, I'm definitely gonna propose lah. Because to me, I'm sure it's inbred by society somewhere. But to me, that is my own personal profession of love for her that I want to propose to her, and I think she feels the same way, which is why she wants to do it for me as well lah. So we can break some stereotypes moving forward in society. There's no need for it to just be a one-way thing, right? At the end of the day,
I'm not gonna propose to me.
hey,
We're not breaking.
in a relationship, you're
propose
equals.
to me.
You're equals. You can profess your love just as much.
I can profess my love in other ways.
Fair enough.
Not through proposing. I am okay with my husband leading this relationship. I do not need to lead him in the relationship. Actually, that was another topic, but that is a very big reason why I could not see myself marrying one of my ex-boyfriends, because
They did zero leading.
I was definitely giving off alpha vibes back then. You would know, right?
Are you not now?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I mean,
Sam
really,
made
I
you
don't.
mellow down.
I didn't like to be the one. I didn't like it when my friends tell me that I'm like the alpha, like in the relationship. I don't want to be. If you're talking even like equality terms, right? Even for somebody to come and tell me that, hey, you are like very strong personality in this relationship. I did not like that about myself. I did not like that part of me had to come out and be like, don't make me keep telling you what to do.
That's quite interesting. I feel like my girlfriend would embrace that, but okay, sure. Side point.
Yeah, to me, I'm very okay with like having a guy lead me in this relationship. And I mean, to me, is biblical also that he is the head of this relationship. So I am okay.
Okay lah, yeah.
And that's why to me, one of the things that I really like about him, I feel that he is smart. So I can respect him and his decisions.
So if you're a bit of a dumbass, you're just like, this is not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serious. If it was a bit of a dumbass, I would just be like, yeah, we can play now. We cannot get married. Because I don't respect you enough as a man to listen to what you have to say, to even respect your decision. Everything you say to me, I'm like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. I'm going to make the final choice. But with my husband, I don't think that way. I can trust him. I trust him to do the best for everybody. So it's such a burdenless life. It's very nice.
To each their own.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our episode. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.